Something strange has been caught on camera again. And this time, it's downright hard to explain. Today's collection is weird, wild, and downright unexplainable. My name is Steve, this is Classified Captures. Now before we get into the whole video, let's pause for a second and look at the first clip because I'm gonna want to know what you think of this. Remember, in the comments, if you want me to reply, Steve in capital letters, that way that I can see. Thank you very much. A woman took to TikTok to share a strange and chilling sight she caught from her window. On the side of her neighbor's porch stood a dark figure in what looked like a black robe, completely still. From her angle, it almost looked like the Grim Reaper just standing there watching. As she filmed, her neighbor suddenly came outside, looking directly at the same spot where the figure stood. When the video hit TikTok, people went wild. Some agreed it looked like the Grim Reaper, others said it might be a shadow entity. A few even begged her to go outside and check the spot in person. So the next day she did. She walked over and filmed as she went, but there was nothing there could explain what she'd seen the night before. Things got even creepier when she finally talked to her neighbors about it, and they told her something unexpected. Apparently, they'd been filming a short horror movie that night, and what she saw was likely one of the actors in costumes or props. It all made sense in the end, but with that dark, still figure standing in the shadows, everyone thought it was something else.
They're actually filming a short horror film, and they have the perfect house and perfect location to do so, so I don't blame them. They just forgot to warn us beforehand. They said they were going to and then forgot.
Moving on, a woman who runs a daycare shared a terrifying encounter she had one afternoon, and luckily she had the security camera set up that caught everything. In the footage, you can see a room where the kids are playing. Everything looks normal until one little boy suddenly starts screaming. The daycare owner rushes in to check on him. The room he was in connects to the main playroom where most of the children are. When she asked the boy what was wrong, he told her that he saw a face in the mirror. The woman checks the vanity mirror, but there's nothing there. But that wasn't all. Viewers noticed a few other strange things happening in the footage. As she's standing in the room, the toy house sitting in the corner suddenly topples over like something has pushed it. No one was near it. Then, if you look closely at the top of the door frame, there's what looks like hands gripping the edge. Moments later, the pair of hands slides out of sight. Now, kids can have wild imagination, so maybe he was spooked by his own reflection, but after that day, the owner ended up selling the vanity soon after. So what do you think? Was it an overactive imagination or something far darker watching from that mirror? Some fishermen off the coast of Moray Firth, Scotland, had shared a series of eerie photographs that are stirring up quite the debate online. According to them, while they were out in the middle of the sea, something massive started following their boat. When you look at the photographs, it's clear that whatever it is doesn't look like a normal wave. Some parts even seem to rise slightly above the waterline, like the ridge of a back or a curve of a shell. Some say it looks serpentine, like the sea serpents people have claimed to see for centuries around Scotland's coast, with even some connecting it to the Loch Ness monster myths. Others think it could be a giant sea turtle based on the rounded shape. A few skeptics believe it's just an optical illusion, but what makes it really strange is that the fishermen said the thing followed them, keeping the same pace as their boat before disappearing beneath the surface without a trace. If it was a wave, how did it stay so consistent? And if it was a creature, well, what kind of creature could it be? This video was shared by a woman who claims she came face to face with a demon. It happened late one night when she heard strange noises coming from behind her house. Thinking maybe it was an animal or an intruder, she grabbed her phone and followed the sound into the darkness. At first, she said she saw what looked like a person walking near an old well behind her property, but then that figure seemed to vanish right into the shadows near the well. Fearing the person might have fallen in, she rushed over and peered down. That's when things took a terrifying turn. She went closer to the well, calling out, but what she saw was not a person at all, rather a dark, thin humanoid figure that was inside the well. Its limbs were unnaturally long, and it started to growl very animalistically and guttural, and its eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Panicked, the woman dropped her phone and ran as fast as she could back to her house. Since then, she's convinced that what she saw was not a person, but a demonic or otherworldly entity, possibly something that's been lurking around her property for a while. Some people online say this is a rake, others think it's just a hoax, but what do you think? Hoax, creature, monster, what? I saw a rake the other day, then I stepped on it and it hit me in the balls.
¿Escucharon? ¿Escucharon eso? ¿Qué? Se oye allá abajo. ¿Hola?
This particular footage was shared by a group of boaters who were out in the ocean at night. The water was calm, the sky was quiet with nothing unusual at first, but then something strange started swimming alongside their boat. At first they thought it was just a reflection or maybe a school of fish catching the light, but as they looked closer, they realized it was something else entirely. In the video, you can see what appears to be a half-human, half-fish creature moving just beneath the surface. Its upper body looks human with arms, shoulders, and even what seems to be a face glancing up toward them, while the lower half clearly moves like that of a sea creature, long and sleek like a tail. The boaters say the creature swam close to their boat as if it was aware of their presence or even curious about them. Some people online are calling it proof of mermaids or deep-sea humanoids. Others, though, believe it's a doctored video or possibly a manatee or diver caught in low light, distorted by the rippling water. It's been a while since we covered any new Bigfoot footage, but that doesn't mean the stories have slowed down. In fact, it seems like every week something surfaces that makes people believe we're getting closer to proving that these creatures might actually exist in isolation from humans. This latest clip comes from a group of hikers who were out in the woods when they noticed something strange moving between the trees. They pulled out their camera, and what they captured has everyone talking. Behind a thick line of trees, you can see a massive ape-like figure walking slowly through the forest. It looks easily over 8 feet tall with broad shoulders and long arms that swing naturally as it moves. Unlike the muscular, lean Bigfoot figures people usually describe, this one looks heavier with a noticeable belly. But what really catches your eye is how natural the movement looks. The gait and the way it shifts its weight don't seem mechanical or exaggerated like a costume might move. Of course, not everyone's convinced. Some believe it's AI-generated, but others say the detail is too organic to be computer-made. Could this finally be one of the clearest glimpses we've ever had of Bigfoot? Why does this look like an eye in the sky? The way the moonlight shines through the clouds with a darker patch forming right beside it makes it look like a giant eye staring down at us from above. The people who filmed the scene, this woman who said it was a man in the sky watching over them. Could that be God? Of course, we both know this is just pareidolia, when our brains see familiar shapes like faces or eyes in patterns, but this one is pretty good too.
Hey, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué señor qué?
El Señor está viendo a todos nosotros en el cielo. Jesús.
Ay, Dios.
Some ghost explorers had visited an abandoned house, and while exploring, they decided to check the basement. It was pitch dark down there, so they used a spectrum camera to capture anything unusual. They took a few photographs while descending the old staircase, and this one stood out. In the picture, at the bottom of the stairs, you can clearly see a pale, almost transparent face peeking from the shadows. It looked aged, with deep-set eyes and a ghostly expression. No one noticed it in person at the time. It wasn't until they reviewed the footage later that they realized what they'd captured. Looks like their investigation wasn't for nothing after all. But what or who did they catch down there? Next, we got this footage that was sent in from Guatemala. A man and his colleague were working on an excavation site when they stumbled upon something strange buried deep in the ground. This massive egg-shaped object. It looks heavy, almost stone-like, but perfectly smooth and oval. So they decided to dig it out and clean it off. As you can see, the thing is huge, much larger than any bird or reptile egg we know today. And it's incredibly solid, not something you can just crack open easily. People online began speculating. Some say it could be a fossilized dinosaur egg. Others claim it's an ancient artifact, while skeptics argue it's just an oddly shaped rock formation. Curious to find out, the men tried to break it open carefully using an axe and a hammer. When they opened it, the inside appeared to be solid stone as well. So did they find a real prehistoric egg turned to stone over time, or is it just an egg-shaped rock?
A ver, agarra. Venga a ver lo que encontré. Mire. Rebotó la pioche, mire. Mire. Mire, mi checita está, man. Mire. Oh, la gran puchi, como pesa, man. Una piedra bien redonda en la tierra. Mire. Ey, esto hay que ponerlo así como un...
This woman was woken up in the middle of the night by her little boy, who was terrified of something she couldn't see. You can see in the footage that the child is panicking, trembling, and repeatedly pointing toward the same spot on the wall, right next to a mirror in the room. But when the mother turns the camera to show us, there's nothing there, just the mirror and the wall. Still, the boy keeps crying and insisting that something is there. His fear seems genuine. Now, this has stirred a lot of debate online. Some people believe that children can see things adults can't, especially spiritual presences. Others say that mirrors can sometimes act as portals or conduits for energy, and that she should remove the mirror from his room immediately. The mother is still confused about the whole thing, and it's obvious that the boy saw something he couldn't explain. So, could it be from the mirror? Like someone subjected, or what?
What is it? Baby, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. Okay, I don't see it.
My nail.
Two men who'd been exploring abandoned mines decided to visit an old uranium mine in Uzbekistan. While moving deeper inside, they came across a massive hole that seemed to drop endlessly into the earth. They leaned closer, trying to see how deep it went, when suddenly they heard this. A loud, metallic bang, followed by a piercing, inhuman screech echoing up from the darkness below. The sound was so intense and unnatural that the men immediately bolted out of the mine, leaving their equipment behind. When they shared the story, it quickly spread online with all kinds of speculation. Some say it could have been air pressure shifting underground or old metal collapsing, but others believe something far stranger is hiding in those tunnels. Perhaps a creature that took refuge after years of isolation, or even mutated wildfire from the mine's radioactive past. Whatever it was, the explorer did not wait another second to find out.
Ебать, пацаны. Ебать. Ебать, пацаны. Ебать.
Now, look at that. This one is wild. What you're seeing here is a massive rock with what appears to be a giant human footprint pressed right into it. And this isn't some small marking either. It's nearly the same height as the man standing next to it, who looks to be around 6 feet tall. Throughout history, there have been stories, carvings, and even ancient texts that talk about giants walking the earth, from the Nephilim mentioned in the Bible to myths from Africa, Asia, and the Americas. And then something like this shows up, a footprint so huge and detailed with clear impressions of toes on an arch that looks almost too real to dismiss. If you look closely, it doesn't look carved or chiseled, it looks pressed, like the rock was once mud or clay and something enormous stepped right into it before it hardened over time. So what could it be? Is this just a strange natural formation that happens to look like a human foot, or proof that something gigantic roamed the earth before us?
There we have it. Let's get closer. Oh, wow. Beautiful. There's the, you know, when you, there's the big toe and the other 4 toes down to the small toe, down to the heel. What's fascinating about this is anybody that does a study of this will notice this piece sticking out here. It's like when you put your foot in mud and you pull it out, your toes will lift up, a little mud.
Someone filmed what they claim was inside their home aquarium, and the footage has everyone puzzled. In the video, you can see a small serpent-like creature gliding through the water. It has 4 tiny legs, a long, flexible neck. To be honest, it looks like a miniature Loch Ness monster, but others say it reminded them of a prehistoric plesiosaur. Some users were convinced that this might be an undiscovered species or cryptid, possibly something that evolved in captivity or was brought from a remote area. Others said it could be a mutant amphibian or experimental hybrid, though there's no real evidence for that. Skeptics, however, believe it's simply an AI-generated or CGI-enhanced video, especially since realistic creature renders have become incredibly easy to make using current editing tools. What do you think? What you're looking at here is a 1,700-year-old naturally mummified body that was discovered inside a salt mine in Iran. And this is one of the most fascinating archaeological records in recent history. This body, often called the Salt Man, was found perfectly preserved thanks to the salt-rich environment, which prevented decay and kept even hair, skin, and clothing intact. The level of preservation is unreal, and you can still see parts of his beard, hair, and even facial features after nearly 2 millennia. Experts believe he was either a miner who died during a collapse or someone who entered the tunnel for another reason and got trapped. But what's really interesting is that he was not alone. Several other salt mummies have since been found in the same region, all dating back to different periods between 300 BC and 500 AD. Some say the site might have been a cursed place, considering how many people met the same mysterious fate there. God, I see people walking out of bars that don't look as good as this guy. Have you heard of the Hoabaku Forest? It's one of the most mysterious and terrifying places on Earth. It's mostly called the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. This forest has a strange reputation for UFO sightings, ghostly apparitions, and unexplained disappearances. People who go there report sudden feelings of nausea, anxiety, and even lose track of time. There is a perfectly circular patch in the middle of the forest where nothing grows, not even grass. Scientists have tested the soil and found nothing unusual, yet trees simply refuse to grow there. That's also the spot where people have seen glowing orbs, strange mists, and shadow figures moving between the trees. Some locals believe the forest is haunted by spirits trapped between worlds. Others think it's a dimensional portal, explaining why electronics malfunction and why people sometimes vanish without a trace only to reappear hours or even days later, confused and unable to remember what happened. Whether it's paranormal or something beyond science, Hoabaku remains one of the strangest and most chilling mysteries in the world. A girl had gone thrifting at an old antique shop when she came across this lampshade. At first it looked like any other old collectible, but when she took a closer look, she realized there was something deeply off about it. The shop owner claimed it was made of leather, but this wasn't like any kind of leather she'd ever seen. The texture was thin. Even more disturbing, it had odd hand-drawn designs on it, looking eerily like old tattoos or symbols carved into the skin. That's when things got even darker. Remember Ed Gwynn, the infamous serial killer from Wisconsin, who was known for using human skin to make furniture masks and lampshades? The lamp's location, appearance, and timing are suspicious. The lamp, according to the shop's record, dated back to just a few years before Gwynn's arrest. Could this really be made from human flesh, or is it simply an eerie coincidence? Either way, it's chilling. Many who've seen the lamp say it looks odd. It should be tested to be sure this is not one of Ed Gwynn's works. A 46-million-year-old fossilized mosquito was found in Montana. And while that alone sounds crazy enough, what scientists discovered inside is even stranger. When they studied the fossil, they realized this mosquito wasn't just any ancient insect. It had blood still preserved inside its tiny body. But the DNA in the blood didn't belong to any known creature. It wasn't human, animal, or anything that exists on record. Now, scientists are completely baffled trying to figure out what kind of being this mosquito could have fed on before it got frozen in time. Some say it might be from a prehistoric creature we've never discovered. Others even believe that it could be from something not of this world. Because if this blood truly came from something unknown, then what else was walking this planet millions of years ago that we still have no idea about? Lately, there's been a trend going around online. It's adults using pacifiers. Yes, full-grown adults sucking on adult-sized pacifiers, claiming it helps them relax, calm down, or manage stress. It started popping up on TikTok and other social media platforms where people proudly show off their stress pacifiers and even call it part of self-soothing therapy. But let's be real, this is raising a lot of eyebrows, including mine. Pacifiers are meant to be for babies, not grown-ups. Experts have warned that doing this can mess up your teeth, cause jaw misalignment, and even make breathing harder during sleep. Yet somehow this trend is spreading fast, with people treating it like some kind of wellness hack. What is really going on with people these days? Are we regressing to childhood for comfort, or is this just another bizarre social media phase that's gotten way out of hand? Jeez. This woman shared a video saying she was home alone late at night when she started hearing strange noises coming from a living room. So she decided to start recording while she went to check it out. The house is dark and quiet, and you can hear her footsteps echoing as she slowly walks through the hallway. Then she pans the camera toward the living room, and for a brief second, you can see two glowing eyes staring right back at her from the shadows before vanishing. At first, everyone thought it must have been her cat, except there's one problem. She later explained that her cat is blind. It doesn't have functioning eyes. There's no way they could be glowing. So now the question is, if it wasn't her cat, then what was she looking at? A homeowner recently shared this eerie footage from their security camera, and it's honestly hard to tell what the hell's going on here. In the clip, there appears to be a glowing, ghost-like shape floating right in front of the camera lens. It moves around slowly, almost as if it's alive. You can even see it shimmering and shifting, and for a second, it looks completely see-through. People online immediately started calling it a ghost, a spirit orb, or even a portal glitch, but others think it's just a spider web catching the light from the camera or a bug crawling across the lens. Still, the way it moves does look strangely intentional, almost too smooth for a web. So what do you think it is? Do you know your blood type? If you don't, you might want to check because, well, who knows, you could have what's called golden blood. And yes, I mean that literally. This isn't some random internet myth, it's a real thing. It's the rarest blood type in the entire world, which is also known as Rh null. Only about 40 people on the whole planet have it. Crazy, right? What makes it so special is that it has no Rh proteins at all, which means it can be donated to almost anyone. Doctors call it universal blood because of that. But if you have it and you ever need a transfusion, well, it's almost impossible to find a match since no other Rh null donor can help you. That's why they call it golden blood. It's so rare and valuable that scientists literally treat it like treasure. So yeah, it might be worth finding out your blood type because, just in case you're one of the few walking around with golden blood flowing through your veins. What in the world are we looking at here? Some people spotted this creature hiding in the bushes nearby, and when they got closer to check it out, this thing looked absolutely terrifying. You can't even tell what kind of creature it is. It looks like it has 4 legs, white fur, and these dark, almost hollow patches around its eyes. Its face resembles a dog's snout, but not quite. There's something off about it. And just when you think you're starting to make sense of what you're seeing, this thing suddenly bolts. I mean, it zips away with speed that's unreal, way too fast for any known animal. Seriously, what is this thing? Some people think it might be a deformed or mutated animal. Others say it's not from this world. Whatever it is, no one has identified it to date. A man was stopping at a truck stop late at night when he decided to snap a quick photograph of the place. But what showed up in the picture has everyone unsettled. Right beside one of the parked trucks, you can clearly see a strange figure. It looks like the upper torso of a person, maybe even a man with a beard, but the rest of the body seems to just fade away. The figure is faint, almost translucent, and it doesn't look like anyone was actually standing there at the time. Given how late it was and how dim the lighting was around the area, the whole thing just feels unsettling. Now, could this just be a camera glitch, a reflection, or maybe even smoke catching the light? Well, possibly, but when you look closely at the shape, especially the face, it's hard not to feel like there's more to this photograph than meets the eye. Take a look at this wild footage. It was captured in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's honestly insane. It begins with a man riding toward a tunnel later in the day when he notices something up ahead. As he gets closer, he realizes there's a car parked right in the middle of the tunnel. Curious, he walks past it to see that the car is on fire. The flame is small for now, but it's clear it will soon get bigger. He moves past it, still filming the scene, but with many questions on his mind. Why was that car left there burning? Was it an accident? Or could it have been someone trying to destroy evidence or cover up a crime? No one seems to know if there was a person inside, and it's unclear whether he called the police afterward, but honestly, it looks too suspicious to just be a random car fire. What do you guys think is happening here?
It's just still running. How was the car? I mean, like, bro, look at this thing. fully tinted out, nice as G-Wagon. Man, look at this. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, it's on fire. It's on fire in there. It's on fire. Oh my God. Oh my God, I need like, oh my God. This is crazy content, crazy insane content. I'm trying to get a video before this thing blows up. Oh my God, it's on fire. Oh my God, that's a G-Wagon on fire. G-Wagon on fire, alert. G-Wagon on fire. I'm leaving it. Steelyard Commons, Cleveland, Ohio. Man, insane. That is some GTA stuff. Oh my, I didn't even know it was on fire. Oh my God.
Addiction is really getting out of hand these days, especially with the ongoing drug crisis, and the wave of it is hitting the US harder than ever before. Just look around. There are heartbreaking scenes of people affected by fentanyl, left frozen or moving in slow motion like zombies on the sides of the streets. It's tragic to see humans in that state, but now it looks like it's spreading even to animals. This footage shows a raccoon behaving the same way, staggering around like it's dazed, barely able to move. It looks like it was scavenging for food in the trash and probably ate something laced with a drug. And it's not just that raccoon, there's also a pigeon in a similar state, and it's probably pecked at something contaminated. This is honestly disturbing. It's no longer just a human issue now, it's affecting the wildlife too. The world's changing in ways we never imagined, and not for the better. A group of foreigners have come across what one might call an exotic animal. Dark in appearance and with its seemingly lifeless body, this creature bears semblance to the snake and dinosaur creatures combined. It's not something you see every day. It has a long middle side from its head to the tail and 4 small legs. The footage is chaotic with a lot of voices in the background. These voices might probably be wondering what it is as well. Do you know or perhaps have a theory? Please share it with us. Next, imagine you're out in the woods with a friend or some significant other. You're having what's like the perfect romantic date when you start hearing strange sounds.
Full. Hello? Is anybody there? I'm so nervous. What was that?
I don't know.
Do you need help?
That's exactly what's happening to the couple in this footage. So guess what they did? Instead of moving away to a new spot, they decided to investigate. They started calling out in the direction of the sounds, and they got a response. But it didn't sound human. After listening several times ourselves, we can't make it out either. They then did what any of us would do in such a situation, ran as fast as they could out of the place. Can't say I blame them. It's the most logical thing to do, don't you think? I stumbled upon some footage that's so bizarre it made me question if it could even be real. And honestly, if it is real, I'm not sure we were ever meant to see it. Take a look for yourself. In this footage, it's late at night and something really bizarre is going on in the sky. At first glance, it looks like a full-on battle happening among the clouds. Flashes of light, bursts of fire, but it's not a war. The military is actively firing at something in the sky, and that something appears to be a UFO. Despite all the firepower directed at this craft, none of the shots seem to hit their target. The mysterious object moves so quickly and effortlessly, dodging everything the military throws at it. Then, just like that, the UFO slips out of sight and vanishes into the night. If this footage is real, well, it raises some unsettling questions. Are we really messing with extraterrestrials? And if so, what does that mean for us? We've all seen how these things play out in the movies, and honestly, it doesn't usually end well. What do you think this is? Is the footage legit or just another elaborate hoax? You should all know by now to never go out alone at night, especially in the woods. The darkness can hide more than just wildlife, and you never know what might be lurking.
What the hell is that, man? Hello? What the hell? Bro, it's got hands. What the hell is that? Oh my god, oh my god.
In this footage, a man walks deep into the woods, and after a while he begins to feel uneasy. It was as if something was watching him. He took out his phone and started filming, panning around to capture his surroundings. That is when he saw it, a pair of glowing eyes in the darkness staring directly at him, following his every move. Thankfully, the creature didn't attack, but imagine the fear of seeing those eyes in the blackness. There are plenty of creatures with glowing eyes that you wouldn't want to meet at night in the woods, from dangerous nocturnal animals to cryptids like the rake, skinwalkers, and even the Mothman. But when the footage was enhanced, the truth was revealed. It was just a bird, likely an owl. Still, those glowing eyes can strike fear in anyone. So always be careful, even if this time it was just an owl. What if next time it's something else? Better safe than sorry.
What the hell is that, man? Hello? What the hell? Bro, it's got hands. What the hell is that? Oh my god, oh my god.
Throughout history, folklore, and bedtime stories, tales of fantastical creatures have filled our imaginations, from mischievous goblins to ethereal unicorns and enchanting fairies. These magical beings have long captivated our thoughts, but their existence has remained a subject of mystery and wonder. Recently, there have been alleged fairy encounters that have left people wondering if these creatures truly exist. The evidence, while intriguing, still leaves room for skepticism.
Yep. Fairies live there.
One encounter led a woman to discover a tiny house made from a tree stump in the middle of the woods, covered in lush moss. She believed it to be a fairy house, a doorway to their hidden world. In another instance, a security camera captured the image of a tiny humanoid creature seemingly flying over a woman. Many have speculated that this could be a fairy sighting. Watch this footage. What do you think? Are we truly dealing with fairies, or are the people in question seeing things that don't exist? We start off today's episode with an enigma. Yes, I said it. I used the word enigma again, but today for a relevant purpose. Listen, and you might just understand why.
So this frickin' thing, it's staring at me. It followed me home from the gifting rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I don't know what to do.
A man and his family had moved closer to nature, or simply put, the woods, because, well, who wouldn't, right? But after being out on a late-night exploration, the man makes a chilling discovery. There was a pair of glowing eyes following him. Not knowing what to do, he stood there for minutes, hoping they'd go away, but they didn't. He decided to record it, and that's what you were seeing on your screen. Was that the only time? Well, apparently not. These eyes have apparently been following other members when it's dark. Creepy, right? So what do you think they could be dealing with? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.
Scary. ¿Qué pasó? Vete.
It's true that kids often have wild imaginations, but sometimes their instincts pick up on things that adults might overlook. Take this footage, for example. A woman was in a room with her children when they suddenly ran out screaming, claiming something was watching them. Initially, she thought it was just their imaginations running wild. However, when she went to check, she was stunned by what she found. In a hole in the wall, there was a dark figure with glowing eyes peering out. The kids weren't imagining things after all, they saw something real. But what could this black, eerie creature be? Could it be some sort of entity?
Scary. ¿Qué pasó? Vete.
Here's more on the October the 13th incident. After the alleged UFO crash landing, many locals came forward claiming to have seen and heard the object fall. In one video, a person can be seen walking through the area, but it's now surrounded by police. Whether or not the police presence is connected to the incident remains unclear. Another eyewitness shared an image showing what seems to be the object in question coming down from the sky. Despite being taken with a high-quality camera, the details of the object remain unclear. This mirrors the footage we saw earlier from the Ring camera. If this is true, why are authorities trying to keep this under wraps? If this is just a simple meteor or natural event, why the secrecy? Could it be that they found something at the crash site that they don't want the public to know about? In the stillness of the night, a security camera captures what I like to describe as an unsettling scene. A spectral figure lacking a head or arms meandering through the abandoned streets with an otherworldly grace. It cast a haunting ambience over the surroundings, leaving onlookers spellbound by its mysterious presence. As expected, people who have chanced upon this video say it's another witch escapade. Now, as we navigate this, what do you make of this spectral wanderer? Trailcams have a way of capturing intriguing and sometimes unsettling images. In this particular image, at first glance, you might think you are looking at a wolf. After all, it's common to capture various wildlife on these cameras. However, as you inspect the details more closely, the creature's face appears to have an uncanny resemblance to a human. The eyes, nose, mouth, and teeth do seem to bear an eerie similarity to human facial features. It's almost as if nature decided to blend the boundaries between the human and the animal kingdoms. The question that arises is whether this image is the result of clever editing or it's an actual capture of something truly extraordinary. Could it be an actual werewolf or dogman, or is it the result of someone's digital creation? What would you do if you heard weird noises while camping out in the woods alone? Run? Mind your own business? Try to call for help? Well, not the man who recorded the footage I'm about to show you. He gets to the location and he's greeted with this strange and bad smell. That should have been his cue to leave, but instead, he explores the area some more until he spots something strange in the distance. Naturally, he freaks out seeing whatever it is staring at him. Now, hang on a second. There's something staring at him. But wait, what is it? What is that thing? We've watched and rewatched the footage, but we still can't put our finger on it. Whatever it is looks like some sort of Halloween costume. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't in any way look lifelike, at least not to my eyes. Now, here's the kicker. Am I just being overly critical? Seriously, I can't help but wonder. What's your take? Do you think that thing that appears in the camera view is real? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd love to know. This humanoid creature was spotted and filmed one night on the streets of northeastern America. The pale, slender creature looks to be moving in the dead of night, initially mistaken for a human, possibly a burglar. A closer look at its movements and features reveal a sinister truth. Take a good look. It's like this creature is stuck in a permanent crouch, creeping at an eerie and oddly slow pace. Here's the kicker. This creature stands out with its extreme paleness like a ghostly figure. And check this out. It seems to know it's out of place, constantly moving its head, scanning the surroundings with an air of frantic awareness. Skeptics who have come across this creature believe it's a rake, a paranormal creature that traumatizes its victims. Some think it's an alien, while others think it's a homeless person. But what do you think it is? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Late-night drives on deserted highways can be eerie, but when you encounter something strange on the road, it can truly send shivers down your spine. In this unsettling tale, a woman was navigating the empty highway when her headlights revealed a mysterious figure walking in the darkness. This figure wore a white robe, their identity obscured by the shadows. Initially, the woman's alarm bells rang loudly, as any unexpected encounter on a desolate road can be quite unnerving. But her compassionate instincts kicked in, and she decided to turn around, giving this enigmatic figure the benefit of the doubt. Upon her return, she finally got a better look at the person. To her surprise, it was a woman. This bizarre and eerie encounter raises so many questions. What was this woman doing on that lonely highway, cloaked in a white robe? Was there a purpose to her presence, or was this a truly unsettling coincidence? For this next clip, decide if it needs more salt, maybe. The poor man's fear must have been palpable as he contemplated whether this was the end, but miraculously, he managed to escape. Oh my, what a sport. If you thought that was out of the ordinary, I wonder what you'd make of this next footage. Yes, that's an actual, massive ape-like creature with fur all around and a muscular build. Unlike other ape-like creatures that we know, however, this one is built like a human and actually moves like one. If you pay attention to its movements in the capture, you'll realize this, but that's not all. It seems like the Bigfoot has noticed there's someone filming it. It keeps trying to hide behind the trees, albeit unsuccessfully, because we can still see it. Is the video real, though? A part of me doesn't think so. The footage keeps going in and out of focus as though someone was intentionally causing it to appear so. Why, one might wonder, but here's where the plot thickens, at least for me. I can't help but think the footage isn't real and that they're trying to throw us off. Amidst this tapestry of mystery, I offer my humble musings, a mere 5 cents worth. But what's yours? Numerous reports of mermaid sightings have made headlines, but skepticism still surrounds their existence. Get ready to challenge the stereotypes surrounding these legendary creatures. Watch this video clip. Next, we see a man who seems to have fallen from a flat object, perhaps a boat. It looks like he was using it for balance as he moved. Right beside the red object, there's a glimpse of a creature's tail, a hint of its hasty retreat through the water. Now, let's talk about the man's fall. The best guess, the sudden appearance of the creature caught him off guard and caused him to lose his balance. His paddle, his only anchor. He scrambles back onto the ship, and intriguingly, the creature is still visible on the other side, fading into the depths as he paddles away. Now, the big question, what exactly was that? The uploader insists it's a mermaid, but honestly, I'm not seeing it. Yet others who've seen this clip are convinced. One user even wrote, "Land has birds, water has fish. We have elephants, they have whales. So why wouldn't there be some sort of other human-like creature in the ocean?" Seems kind of logical, right? But let's really think about it. I'll leave that decision up to you. What do you think, though? Do you think there was a mermaid? Let us know in the comments. So get this, the owner of this cottage was always hearing weird sounds around the place. He then decided to play detective and set up a camera one night to catch whatever was behind these surprise visits. And guess what? The camera spots a pair of eyes just chilling and staring intensely at the cottage. At first, everyone thought it was some big animal, right? But nope, on a closer look, turns out it's this creature with a human-like body and glowing eyes, and it's moving around on all fours. Now here's the thing, whatever that is, it doesn't look like any animal in that vicinity. This made them wonder what they were dealing with until one person mentioned that it matched the description of not one, but two creepy things, the infamous rake and the mysterious skinwalker. What's your take on everything? This next footage was captured by a woman who noticed something strange going on the floor of her compound. Mysterious glowing patterns had manifested on the ground, creating an otherworldly spectacle that defied explanation. The patterns were reminiscent of the way light plays on the surface of water, forming a mesmerizing display that seemed almost too perfect to be real. But it didn't stop there. The strange patterns weren't confined to the ground alone. They appeared on the walls and even on people, particularly children who were playing in the area. It was as if an unforeseen force had decided to paint the world with its cryptic brush. As anyone would in such a situation, the woman began to wonder about the origins of this surreal phenomena. Was there a scientific explanation behind it? Could it be some peculiar interplay of light and materials that caused these patterns to emerge, or was there something more otherworldly at play, something beyond our understanding?
What the What is that?
And just like that, we're back at the Appalachian Mountains, where a hiker allegedly encountered a massive Bigfoot. While this is certainly not the best quality clip we have seen on alleged sightings of the big guy, this particular one does seem to have a large number of individuals believing it's real. Now that you've seen the clip, what do you make of it? Do you also think it's real, or are we looking at it with a lot of skepticism like Julius's? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
What the What is that?
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No manches, no, corre.
A cowboy was out on his horse in the middle of the night, heading deeper into the woods to round up the rest of his herd that had wandered off to graze. The night was unusually quiet except for the sounds of hooves on the dirt trail. But then something changed. He heard strange noises coming from behind the bushes nearby. The sounds weren't like anything he recognized. They weren't the usual yips or howls of coyotes. No, this was different. It was low, unsettling noises, almost as if whatever was out there was mimicking an animal but not quite getting it right. A chill ran down his spine as he realized something was watching him. Despite scanning the area, he couldn't see anything. What do you think was out there? A skinwalker?
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No manches, no, corre.
Deep in the heart of the woods, where mystery and nature converge, a trail camera managed to capture a spine-chilling image that sent shivers down the spines of all who laid their eyes upon it. The creature in the photograph was a creature of the night, its dark and mesmerizing eyes like portals to an unknown realm staring unflinchingly into the camera lens. It was a scene so disturbing and unnerving that it seemed like it had been plucked from the darkest corners of our imagination. The experts who analyzed the photograph were divided concerning its authenticity. This eerie presence could be anything from a lone coyote, a vigilant wolf, to the elusive and terrifying entity known as the rake. History, the ultimate storyteller, always has surprises up its sleeve. Breaking the ancient narrative, archaeologists from the National University of San Marcos discovered a mummy not in the familiar sands of Egypt, but tucked away in an underground tomb in Peru. Imagine an exclusive resident of Egypt. This mummy was found in Cajamarquilla, a significant site just over 15 miles from the coastal city of Lima. The body, carefully bound in ropes, lay curled up in a corner, its hand covering its face in a poignant pose. This archaeological gem, estimated to be between 800 and 1,200 years old, paints a vivid picture of a unique southern Peruvian funeral custom. While the mummy's initial pose may send a chill down your spine, researchers assure us it's a glimpse into a historical farewell. The tomb itself, a treasure trove, cradled not just the mummy, but also ceramics, vegetable remains, and stone tools. A beautiful blend of history and humanity, offering a moment of silence for the departed soul. Late one night after heavy rainfall, a resident was jolted awake by the eerie sound of a woman wailing through the neighborhood. Curious and a bit unsettled, she went to her window to check. What she saw sent chills down her spine. There, a few houses away, was a woman walking slowly through the neighborhood, crying out loudly into the night. The unsettling cries didn't just disturb the residents, they triggered the neighborhood dogs, who began barking and howling in response, amplifying the eerie atmosphere. Could this be La Llorona? If you're new here, La Llorona is a weeping woman of legend. She's known for wandering and wailing in the night, searching for her lost children. Many claim to have seen her, especially after a rainfall. Could this sighting be linked to her? This next footage I'm about to share with you is hands down one of the scariest things I've come across so far. Okay, well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the idea, right? It was recorded by a man who was taking a walk near the edge of a forest not too far from a graveyard, and what he captured will send chills down your spine. Take a look.
Holy
There are terrifying screams, screeches, and cries coming from the direction of the graveyard. And if that wasn't unsettling enough, the commotion triggered dogs from all over the area to start barking and howling in response, as if the entire forest was on edge, reacting to whatever was happening there. I don't know about you, but this gave me chills. It's like the kind of noise you'd imagine coming straight out of the depths of hell. After a while, the sounds eventually stopped, just like that, leaving behind an unsettling silence. What do you think is going on here? Could this be something supernatural?
Holy
In a quiet suburban neighborhood, a local supermarket owner had the most unexpected visit of his life. It was supposed to be a day like any other, but as he glanced out the window, he couldn't believe his eyes. A bear was rambling toward his shop, its furry form an unusual sight amidst the neatly organized aisles of groceries. Quick thinking and not wanting the bear to roam around his store, the owner rushed to secure the entrance. He placed an object against the door, a makeshift barricade to deter the curious creature. But that bear was not easily discouraged. With a mixture of curiosity and determination, it began to test the door. Its persistence was evident as it tugged and pushed, refusing to be thwarted by a mere door. The owner watched with a mix of awe and trepidation as the bear's efforts paid off and the door yielded to its strength. With the barrier now removed, the bear had achieved its goal and stepped inside. What happened next? Well, it's a tale that local residents would remember for quite some time. A surprising encounter that turned a routine day at the supermarket into an unforgettable story of a bear's unwavering determination to explore the aisles. Well, honesty is the name of the game, and I've got to admit a polar bear did cross my mind, but it seems like we both took a wrong turn. This trail camera, situated in the heart of the woods at night, captured something large and white. No head in sight, but it's got arms, a vacant spot where a head could be, and legs. Now, what in the world is this? Could it be some elaborate setup for an experiment, or a creature retiring to bed and just having to take off the big coat? Sounds funny, but I don't know how else to describe this. Do you? The natural world is a realm of constant change and transformation, but I bet not many of you have seen anything like what I'm about to show you. I know the Earth looks like it's breathing, but that could not be further from what's actually happening here. On a fateful day, September the 28th, 2018, the tranquil city of Palu, nestled in the heart of central Sulawesi, Indonesia, was thrust into the throes of a devastating earthquake that forever altered its landscape. This seismic upheaval is attributed to strike-slip faulting, where forces tugged either in a north-south or west-east direction. The sheer intensity of the movement led to an eerie transformation. The soil itself liquefied, triggering a devastating aftermath. The rippling effect of this liquefaction wreaked havoc, obliterating 110,000 homes and claiming the lives of 6,500 individuals. A heart-wrenching detail emerges. Numerous souls were engulfed under a 9-foot cloak of mud and debris, a consequence of the soil's disintegration at a shallow depth of 17.703 kilometers. As much as I'd want to prevent and give you all the technical details of the event, one thing is certain in all of this: the lives of Palu's residents were forever scarred after this. If this is a reminder of anything, it's a stark reminder of nature's dual nature, its ability to balance and harmonize while also unleashing chaos and destruction without seeking permission. Whether these consequences arise from the actions of humanity or the intricate workings of geological phenomena, the result is the same: a world where the very ground beneath us can shift, ripple, and transform, showcasing both its beauty and its formidable power. Scary, huh? Imagine you planned a fun night for 3 with your besties, only to meet up and find a 4th person you didn't even know was joining the party. Well, that's what happened to the owners of this picture. 3 ladies were having fun one night when one decides to take a picture of her 2 friends, only to capture a 3rd person in the frame. The entity looks like a person, a bald man with his head bowed and slouching. Looking at the head, you can see a huge long nose and dark hollow eyes staring down. I don't know how the ladies reacted to this picture, but if it was me, I would have that room blessed and sanctified, unless of course they were lying. But then again, I wasn't there now, was I? While the world mourned the passing of Queen Elizabeth, there were some who noticed a few things that many of us missed. Take, for instance, this clip.
The death is irreversible, and the fact that she's...
As you can see...
The uploader had the news recording while things occurred live. During the service, she heard something that shook her. There was actually a voice other than that of the one reporting, and it said something along the lines of, "Death is irreversible, and the fact that she is trapped." It's at this moment that the presenter cuts in and the voice goes silent. Many who saw the upload stated that there was a voice similar to that of Princess Diana. This led to many theories. I have mine because, well, it's not every day you experience something like this, right? Anyway, what do you guys think is going on?
That death is irreversible and the fact that she's trapped.
As you can see,
This next one is a bit concerning and emotional. When you watch the clip, you can see a grandmother talking to someone, but she's the only one in the room. The individual who shared this states that the woman in question is about 99 years old and doesn't remember much about the night. She, however, suspects that Grandma may have been visited by her deceased grandson who wanted to comfort her. That's the only explanation she could come up with due to the nature of the experience and the kind of responses the grandma gave. This one feels a little above my pay grade because it all sounds so real, but has anyone ever experienced something like this? As humans, we live on land, breathing air we can't see. Interestingly, a recent discovery suggests that fish experience something similar in their underwater world. They can't see water the way we can't see air. Scientists have found that a fish's brain filters out the presence of water, allowing it to focus on more pressing survival instincts like finding food or avoiding predators. Just as our brains prioritize important visual details like ignoring the air we move through, fish seem to have the same adaptive mechanism in their environment. It's fascinating to think about how creatures adapt to their surroundings, filtering out what they don't need to see or survive. Nature really is full of surprising parallels. Do superhumans actually exist? While we haven't seen any confirmed cases of people with superhuman abilities, the concept has always been intriguing, and if the idea of something exists, it opens the possibility that it could become real. Take this footage for instance. It was captured in China in October 2024. It shows what looks like the figure of a person just floating high up in the sky. This isn't a shadow or an apparition, it is a human. But here's the thing, people don't have the ability to fly or float on their own. Considering how rapidly the world is evolving with new technologies, things we once only saw in science fiction like flying cars, advanced robots, or enhanced human abilities are starting to come to life. With all of that in mind, is it safe to say that we could be on the verge of witnessing real-life superheroes? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Someone caught this bizarre spectacle on camera and posted it to Reddit, and it's one of the strangest things you'll see all week. It It shows a glowing blue flame traveling along the electric wires outside their house. You can hear this low, intense buzzing sound as the flame zips by like it's alive. The glow is eerie, almost otherworldly, like something from a sci-fi movie. What's even stranger is that there's no sign of a regular fire anywhere. No smoke, no burning poles, and nothing that suggests a typical electrical issue. This was just a surreal blue flame snaking its way along the wires and lighting up the night sky. Now, a few folks online think this could be a phenomenon called an electrical arc. It's basically when electricity jumps through the air between wires or equipment, and under certain conditions, it can produce these weird blue flames. It's rare but not impossible. But not everyone's buying the science. Some people are convinced it's something else, like an energy moving through the grid unnaturally, or even some kind of paranormal force. After all, the way the flame moved, it didn't flicker like fire normally would. It glided, fast and smooth, almost like it had a mind of its own. So was it just a freak electrical event, or something far stranger? This is a clip that's gone viral over the past few weeks because there's a demonic figure captured in it. The clip was originally recorded by an individual trying to sell his blinds, but as he pans his camera around, he ends up capturing a demonic figure hiding in the darkness. Many have tried to tell him to be careful and to see an exorcist. After watching the clip over and over, however, I don't think that'll be necessary. I feel like, and strong emphasis on feel, okay? Yeah, I don't think that will be necessary. This looks like pareidolia at work. It's most likely the interaction between the light, darkness, and things in the room. It can make you feel like there's a demon out there. If you've woken up in the dark room, you know what I mean. But what do you think? Is there a demon there or not?
Con la luz. Cierro la cortina y es como si fuera totalmente de noche. Totalmente oscuras.
Our next clip starts with a man standing on a highland overlooking a river. As he gazed down at the riverbank, something caught his eye. A dark figure was moving along the water's edge. The figure had the shape of a person draped in a robe, but it was translucent and unnaturally dark, darker than a typical shadow. Shadow people are mysterious entities that appear as dark, shadowy figures, often resembling human shapes. They aren't tangible, and much like ghosts, they give off an eerie, almost spectral presence. Some believe shadow people are spirits or interdimensional beings, while others think they're manifestations of our fears. What do you think? Could this shadowy figure at the river have been something supernatural? This footage was shared by a man who went hiking in the woods. In the video, he zooms in on a particular tree, claiming to have spotted a baby Bigfoot nestled among the branches. Honestly, I'm not seeing much in there myself, but what do you all think? Do you notice anything unusual in the tree? Sometimes it's easy to miss those things at first glance, but maybe someone else can spot something. Let us know if you see anything that could resemble the creature he's talking about. So, someone in the community tagged us in this post made by a lady known as Spiritual Ghost Hunter Angie. In the video, she was advertising some clothes she was selling and letting everyone know they were vintage and they could come around to have a look. I watched the clip till the end, but a later post from her states that there was actually a ghost in the video. She then slows down that part of the video and we see a blur go across the screen. According to her, this is the ghost moving at super speed. I love paranormal stuff, but somehow I doubt that. I feel like it might have just been her hand moving across the camera, but hey, maybe you guys see better than I do. Care to share your opinion?
Hey guys, this is Spiritual Ghost Hunter Aggie. I'm in this amazing warehouse. And
two men were out by the seaside in Zacumulco, Mexico, just enjoying a quiet moment with their dogs. It was late and calm until something strange started to happen. From out over the ocean came a chilling sound, a long, drawn-out wailing. And it wasn't the sound of waves or animals, it sounded like a woman crying.
Menos mal que traigo mi primera comunión.
Los lamentos pues no me han espantado tanto porque pues ya es algo, bueno, no es como, a pesar de que no son tan cotidianos, que no sean diarios.
Startled, the men began filming the water's surface, unsure of what they were hearing. And that's when something even stranger happened. A figure appeared briefly on the surface of the water, then it vanished. Moments later, not one but three shadowy figures could be seen rising and disappearing into the ocean mist. It was fleeting, but enough to send a chill down their spines. Now, in Mexican folklore, there's a well-known legend of La Llorona, the weeping woman. As the story goes, she drowned her own children in a fit of despair, and now her spirit roams bodies of water, eternally mourning and searching for them. Her cries are said to lure people toward danger, and sightings like this, especially near water, are often linked to her. What makes this encounter more intense is how the dogs reacted. They weren't calm, they were barking aggressively in the direction of the water as if they sensed something wasn't right. Animals often pick up on things humans can't, and their reaction only adds to the fear of the moment.
Menos mal que traigo mi primera comunión.
Los lamentos pues no me han espantado tanto porque pues ya es algo, bueno, no es como, a pesar de que no son tan cotidianos, que no sean diarios.
This strange phenomena was captured on a security cam in Mexico. A rain of yellow-headed birds fell from the sky. While some managed to take flight again, a significant portion lay lifeless on the ground. Now it's time to bring in the experts, the puzzle solvers, the brilliant minds determined to uncover nature's deepest mysteries. A possibility emerges. Could it be the shadow of a predator, a fearsome entity that caused these birds to abandon the skies and take refuge upon the earth? But before we latch onto that idea, let's pause. It doesn't quite add up. Why? Well, even the most fearsome predator couldn't explain the sheer numbers of birds that came plummeting down. As of now, no conclusive evidence has emerged to demystify this event. But here's the question. What's your theory on what triggered this unusual phenomenon? Still on questionable footage, you might want to see this mysterious one. The footage starts with a man walking out of the house after apparently hearing something move on their roof. After walking out for a bit, he sees it hiding in the shadows with its eyes glistening or glowing. The man naturally freaks out, and perhaps this creature too, as it quickly moves out of view. Determined to see what creature he was seeing on his roof, the man moves to the other side of the house, and that's when things get really disturbing. Instead of a creature in all its full glory, he's met with the haunting sight of skeletal remains, leaving nothing but a ghostly presence. It looks like a wolf made up of shadows the first time he saw it, if you ask me, but there are no known creatures that are like that. Is this an elaborate hoax, or are we dealing with the real deal? It looks like a hoax, if you ask me. Could we be dealing with the real deal, or is this the result of CGI creation? Tell us in the comments section. This video was shared by a man who was out with his kids. They lived close to the woods, and while the family was spending time outside, they noticed something unusual among the trees. That's when the man suddenly told his family to get inside immediately as he stepped out to get a closer look. But what he saw was honestly chilling. There, between the trees, was a humanoid figure, clearly on two legs, bent slightly with its bag facing the camera. It was dark in color, and from a distance, it didn't seem to notice the man watching it. The body proportions, the build, the way it moved, it all looked way too large and strange for a regular human. But we all know what this could be. Bigfoot. What made it even more unsettling was the sound it let out, a strange, deep howl, almost like a huff. It wasn't panicked or aggressive, it was just doing its thing. But the encounter left the family shaken. That wasn't a bear, it wasn't someone in a costume, and if this were Bigfoot, it just might be one of the clearest moments caught on camera in recent years. What do you think? Imagine walking into your kitchen and seeing your cutlery have a field day. The woman who recorded this clip is Japanese, and she couldn't believe her eyes when she walked into her kitchen and saw her crockery just doing what they liked. She got her husband or brother to come out to help, but there was nothing he could do. As he stood there, helplessly watching, the woman looked to her right and saw a figure that was not supposed to be there. She lets out a chilling scream and the footage ends. When the clip made its way online, many were quick to point out the fact that it's almost likely a ghost. I mean, there's no other logical explanation, right? Other than the clip being staged. So the big question here is this truly legit? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. You know, it's not exactly news that creatures roam our world, with some of them lurking in our woodlands, but I've got to admit, the beings that show up on trail cams make me question everything. Were we fed lies about Earth, or are monsters from our wildest movies stepping into reality? And now for this last piece of footage, a creature caught on a trail cam's lens. Just have a look, a towering figure striding across the camera's field of view. And get this, those legs, they're impossibly elongated and slender. This creature is one riddle we're trying to crack, but there is more. The creature, enigmatic and otherworldly, challenges our understanding of anatomy. Limbs of traditional shape and purpose are conspicuously absent, replaced by a singular neck that arcs like a question mark, crowned with a head that defies convention. Although its lifelike semblance is striking, my team and I can't shake the suspicion that this might just be an elaborate hoax. But what do you think? This image was taken by a woman who went touring with her son at the Jenny Wade household. As her son was peeking through a bullet hole that was left on the door, she decided to take a picture of the house, and there, on the footage, she spotted this strange, ghost-like entity standing between the camera and her son. The surprised woman decided to share this footage online. The concept of life after death is intricate, and the belief in spirits lingering among the living is a universal thread woven through diverse cultures and religions. The entity captured in this image could be anything, yet a prevailing notion suggests it might be the ghost of Jenny Wade herself. Tracing back to the 1900s during the American Civil War, this house carries a haunting tale. Jenny was peacefully kneading dough in her kitchen when a bullet pierced through her kitchen door and walls, tragically ending her life. Since that fateful day, the house has stood as a silent witness, inviting visitors to gaze upon the haunting bullet holes etched into its walls. Legends perpetuate the idea that departed spirits often linger where their earthly journey met a tragic halt. It's not beyond imagination to speculate that the faint enigmatic figure captured in the footage is none other than Jenny's restless spirit, a lingering reminder of the past, bridging the chasm between then and now. Or am I just exaggerating over an edited photo? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you're wondering what's going on here, well, you aren't alone. I watched this over and over and over and became a little sad. Now, I'm the last person who will judge people for their life choices as long as it doesn't hurt them or others, but this hurt me, and I'm sure it's hurting them too. So this is a training shelter for humans who identify as dogs. In fact, what you're seeing is an obedience competition being carried out for this humans who identify as dogs. I know we all sometimes wish we were something or someone else, but come on. We have to come back to reality and do our best to make the best of the cards we've been dealt. This feels like running away from reality, and it doesn't help anyone, especially those being encouraged to do this. I feel society may be headed for a rough time if we don't correct any of these. Maybe I'm the one that has it all wrong, but what do you guys think about this? Personally, I think they're barking mad. Get it? Churches are sacred places. They're mostly quiet, spiritual, and often filled with a deep sense of peace. But that same spiritual energy is exactly why many believe they attract more than just the living. A man was walking past a church late at night when he noticed something strange. The lights inside were still on, even though the place was closed. The front door was glass, giving a clear view into the building, but it was also guarded by a locked metal gate, so no one could easily get in, and yet something was inside. Out of nowhere, loud banging sounds start coming from the glass door, like someone or something was slamming against it from the inside. You could hear it echo in the quiet street. The man was not alone either. There were other people nearby who also stopped to look, clearly disturbed by what they were witnessing. Everyone could see that no one was at the door, and yet the banging continued. And if that wasn't creepy enough, at one point a low growling sound could be heard. It was faint but unmistakable. It was not the sound of a person, but it wasn't an animal either. Some believe this could be a demonic manifestation of a spirit repelled by the sanctity of the church, but still trying to make its presence known. Others say it might be the lingering energy of someone or something that never left the place. Whatever it was, it didn't look or sound human, and the fact that it happened inside a church is what's got everyone talking.
Porta aqui, não tem nada ali dentro.
On October the 13th, 2024, there was an alleged UFO crash landing in Washington, D.C., and someone's ring camera captured the event. In the footage, you can see a strange craft descending from the sky, only to disappear behind a tree as it falls to the ground. On that day, several people in the area reported seeing a UFO in the sky, but there wasn't much official information released about what had happened. Some witnesses initially thought it was a meteor crashing to Earth, but after reviewing the footage, experts have pointed out that it doesn't seem to behave like a meteor at all. Instead, these experts suggested that what was captured was some type of craft, not a natural object falling from space. This mysterious sighting has left many questions unanswered, and with the lack of official commentary, it's fueling a lot of speculation. Was this an actual UFO crash, or is there another explanation that we're not being told about? This next footage comes from Canada. Some tourists were enjoying a boat ride on the ocean near Dent Island when they noticed something strange in the water. Right in the middle of the ocean, they spotted a whirlpool forming, swirling rapidly and creating a powerful pull down into the water. Their boat drifted a little too close to comfort, and the sheer force of the whirlpool became apparent. It was a tense moment as they tried to steer clear of the hull that seemed to be sucking everything down. Whirlpools like these can be dangerous and unpredictable, especially for smaller vessels. What would you have done in their situation? Have you ever tried pulling out a nail that's been hammered into a wall? It's tough, right? Takes strength, some leverage, and maybe a few grunts and a bent tool or two. Well, prepare to be humbled. Take a look at this macho little bee. In a viral clip that's been making the rounds online, this bee is seen gripping a nail and gradually pulling it out of a wall. Yeah, a bee. Not a bird, not a bat, a bee. You can almost see the determination in its little wings. It's kind of hilarious and weirdly impressive. Now, scientists are chiming in, saying the nail was probably already loose or barely wedged in to begin with, which might explain how the bee managed to pull it out. Still, loose or not, it's a bee. This isn't what we expect from pollinators. What was it even doing? Renovating? Helping with repairs? Who knows? Maybe next time you're struggling to yank out a stubborn nail, just know a bee might have done it faster.
Good lad.
If you've ever discovered something like this in a tree, what would be your honest reaction? Personally, I may be tempted to investigate the other trees and see if they also contain other valuable items. The man who discovered this one, however, chose to record the whole thing and upload it online, telling everyone he'd possibly discovered the hideout of a leprechaun. At least, that's the version of the story I heard. Leprechauns are tied to gold because, according to old Irish stories, they used to work as shoemakers for fairies, and apparently they got pretty well paid for it. Since they lived alone and didn't spend much, they'd stash their gold in secret spots, usually deep in the forest or, as the legend goes, at the end of a rainbow. Over time, people started to say that if you got caught by a leprechaun, you could make him tell you where his treasure was. That's where the whole pot of gold thing comes from. It's a mix of hard work, mystery, and a little mischief. Classic leprechaun vibes. Interesting, right? But there are also animals out there who like to grab shiny things and hide them. Raccoons, squirrels, and ravens are all animals that like to hoard shiny objects. He could have basically discovered one of those creatures' hidden stash. Personally, I think that's what happened. But what do you guys also think? Hospitals aren't the only places where people report eerie encounters. Drivers experience them too. And what you're about to see will send chills down your spine. A truck driver had just returned to base, and as part of the routine, his cabin camera footage was reviewed. That's when they stumbled upon something deeply unsettling. In the footage, a woman was sitting calmly in the passenger seat beside the driver, but here's the creepy part: her appearance was far from normal. Her skin was deathly pale, almost like that of a corpse. She didn't move or speak, just sat there eerily still. The driver appeared completely unaware of her presence, as if she wasn't there at all. There was no conversation or interaction between them. When the driver was called in to review the footage, he was stunned. He insisted that he'd been alone in the truck the entire time. According to him, there was no passenger, no woman at any point during the journey. That's when the realization hit everyone. This wasn't a living person. It was a ghost. This isn't an isolated incident. Drivers, especially those driving late at night, often share stories of strange and supernatural encounters on the road. From mysterious passengers to shadowy figures appearing in the headlights, their experiences are enough to make anyone uneasy. So what do you think? Was this an actual ghost encounter? It's been a while since we've had any footage of a chupacabra, the elusive creature said to resemble a dog but with a sinister twist. It is said to drink the blood of livestock. Take a look at our most recent footage of the creature. This was captured by a man walking home one night. The creature he filmed was four-legged, sitting on the ground with its face buried between its front legs, seemingly engaged in some odd behavior. When you look closely, it doesn't resemble an ordinary dog or even a wild cat. Something is unsettling about its posture and appearance. It brings to mind the infamous chupacabra. Could this strange creature really be the infamous chupacabra, or are we just dealing with the misidentification of a rather common animal? Let's hear your thoughts. Not every strange encounter happens in the dead of night or deep in the woods. Sometimes it's in the middle of a quiet field or what should be a routine patrol. This happened to a police officer during a normal shift. He was out patrolling the area when he spotted a car parked all alone in an open field. There were no houses nearby, no roads leading directly to it, so he decided to check it out. As he approached the car, something instantly caught his attention. For a split second, he swore he saw a hand pressed against the inside of the window, but it vanished almost as soon as he noticed it. He immediately thought someone might be trapped inside, but when he got up close and looked in, the car was empty, no driver. But that was not all. Suddenly, music started playing from the car, a random, almost old-school song when the car was not in ignition. Then, just as abruptly as it started, it stopped. The officer was shaken, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Seeing an abandoned car in the middle of nowhere at night with a hand that vanished and music that played out of thin air. So what exactly happened here? Was this a haunted car, a residual presence left behind by someone who died inside? Whatever it was, that officer didn't stick around long enough to find out.
Like somebody's in the car. I swear to God, I saw somebody in the car. This is some spooky shit right here. I'm gonna have to call this in the sheriff's department. Don't hear the music no more.
Remember those strange sky trumpet sounds people used to report all over the world? Loud, airy blasts echoing from the sky? Well, something new just dropped, and it's not the same. This time, it's not a trumpet, it's a knocking sound. A video recently surfaced from New York where people heard what sounded like slow, heavy knocking sounds coming from above. And this wasn't some muffled rumble, this echoed clearly and deeply. Some people described it as more terrifying than the trumpet sounds we've heard before, and that says a lot. Now, when the trumpet-like sounds were first recorded, scientists and experts labeled them as skyquakes, a phenomenon caused by shifting air pressure, temperature changes, or even distant earthquakes. But this knocking doesn't quite fit that explanation. So what could it be? Some speculate it could be industrial or construction noise bouncing through the atmosphere. Others think it might be a sign of something tectonic or even something unexplained. Others also said it could be messages from other dimensions or something tapping at the veil that separates us from whatever else is out there. Whatever the case, this wasn't just a one-off. More people are starting to notice that the sky isn't as quiet as it used to be. So keep your ears open because whatever's knocking might not be done yet. dog owner shared this video online of his beloved pet, Coco. But viewers soon noticed something chilling that he hadn't seen at first. The man lives alone, and in this clip he was just relaxing at home after playing with Coco outside. Tired, he went inside to rest, while Coco eventually followed him in. In the video, Coco enters the room slowly, clutching her ball in her mouth, almost approaching him in a strangely menacing, deliberate way. The man can be heard speaking to his dog, explaining that he was simply tired, which is why he came back inside. At first, it was supposed to be just a funny, lighthearted moment between a man and his dog. But then the viewers pointed out something that sent shivers down his spine. If you look closely at Coco, right at the doorway, the lights flicker and then suddenly go out. The problem is that the man was completely alone at home. So who or what turned off the lights? Was it just a coincidence that the wiring got faulty at the exact moment Coco walked in? Was there something else in the room with them?
Oh, hey, Coco, what up, man? I was just finna come back out, bro. I came here to get a glass of water and tripped onto the bed, bro. It's crazy out here. For real, though. What's up with you, bro? Remember on your birthday I got you a birthday cake? Coco, please, bro. No!
For members of the conspiracy community, it's not news that certain families rule the world. And one of them is the Rothschild family. This woman was having a rant with one of the AI chats when she chipped in the idea that if AI takes over the world, it should destroy the Rothschilds first. Now, the next day, she was taking her dog for a walk when a man came running toward her. He stopped right in front of her. She had some defense gadget on her, so she reached into her pocket for it, making the man back up. But he mentioned something that really shocked her: Rothschild. What are the odds that the day before she'd had a conversation about that family with the AI chat? These families are known to control the world. We hope she's okay. But could it be that what she typed on the AI chat put a target on her back?
Venting about how bullshit life is, right? Jokes and jokes. I say to chat, hey, if you do come alive and take over the world, because that's a joke, right? That everybody talks about AI taking over the world. Cool. If you do, make sure the whole Rothschild family. Today, the very next day, I'm walking my dog. It's dark out, right? I'm walking my dog around a hill. A white man, boundless dreads in his head, is running at me like this. Like full on running at me down the hill, right? Comes to me and says, stops in his tracks and says, oh, it's so hard to find you. I said, I don't know you. Mind you, I have a weapon right here. So what do? I had a sweater on. I grab for my weapon immediately. He looks at me, looks at my weapon, does what the same person would do, and backs up a little bit. Then he says, on my life, this man whispers, Rothschilds.
The clip on your screen came into existence after the videographer tried to get evidence that his neighbors were trespassing on his property. He had allegedly complained to the sheriff and was told to let it go. If this clip proves anything, it's that perhaps he should have let it go. I expect a video of ordinary people, but instead saw what looked like feral people. The clip also had a title: The Feral People of the Appalachian Mountains. I didn't know there were any feral individuals over there, and this is my first time seeing them. Can any of you living there confirm this? If this video is indeed authentic, what would you have done if you discovered feral people living near you? Would you chase them out, or would you just leave them be? At this point, it feels like we've slipped into another reality, and honestly, little signs are popping up every day that make you question everything. Take a look at this. Someone parked right in front of the Boston pizza place with big clear glass walls. Now check out the reflection in the glass. You can see an orange Porsche right there in the glass. But when the camera pans around to show the actual street, there's no orange Porsche anywhere. How do you explain that? One idea that makes the rounds, but kind of intriguing, is what if this is a reflection from another universe? The mirror picked up something from a parallel world that overlaps ours for just a moment. The other explanation is that this is just a really good fake video, but if it's not a hoax, well then, what are we looking at? Is our reality bleeding into another, or are we just starting to see things?
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere. Where's that car? What? Where is that car?
These creatures are called bloodworms, and if you've ever seen them up close, you know why they get that name. They have small fangs in their heads and they can pierce skin and inject venom. Now, imagine sticking your bare hand into a bowl containing over 100 of them. Well, that's exactly what this man decided to do, just to see if he could handle it. He plunged his hand into the writhing mass of worms and kept it there for 2 full minutes. The worms squirmed and twisted around his skin, their tiny jaws snapping as they latched on. Most people wouldn't last a few seconds before pulling away, but somehow he endured a full 2 minutes. Watching the footage is enough to make your skin crawl with the way the worms move. While he managed to pull his hand out without serious harm, many who saw the video called him reckless. Bloodworms may look small, but their venom can cause painful reactions.
That's 3, 2, 1. Ah! Wow. That was weird.
What are we even looking at here? It honestly looks like the sky has been split into 2 halves, with the clouds divided in such a straight line that it almost seems like someone took a ruler and drew across the heavens. The edges are sharp and unnatural. Just look at that. It doesn't look like the usual way clouds drift and scatter. Normally you'd expect soft edges, wisps, something that blends, but here the separation is clean, almost geometric. It gives the eerie impression that the sky itself is being divided, like a glitch in reality. Some people say this is a natural weather phenomenon, others call it a sky glitch. But what do you think?
Everyone is looking up, wondering why the sky is split. Look, the sky is broken.
Not sure if this is meant to be funny or if there's something serious going on here, but this clip was uploaded online by an individual who claims to be concerned about his new neighbors. For some odd reason, they do this at night, and he doesn't know why. Just in case it wasn't clear enough, those are shadowy figures striking that weird pose. While we may have considered them to be otherworldly beings, the uploader insists that those are his new neighbors. They know they can be seen and the dog is barking because it sees them too, yet for some weird reason they do it anyway. Once he uploaded the video online, some in the comments section stated that they were probably introducing themselves as the goofy arrivals in the neighborhood, while many in the community felt that might not be the case, but not everybody agreed. Some felt that if it was a joke, they would have come forward to introduce themselves already, and to be honest, that sounds logical, but hey, we're all different. Assuming this was no joke, what do you think it means? Are they in a cult? Should the uploader be worried? Let's hear your thoughts. Do you know who the man speaking in the video is? That's Michael Tellinger. He's a South African researcher and author who's been digging into some pretty wild ideas about ancient civilizations, lost technology, and how it all ties into something called white gold, also known as monoatomic gold. According to him, this isn't just some rare metal or fancy jewelry material. It's a powerful substance that ancient beings, possibly the Anunnaki, used for things like expanding consciousness, bending space and time, and even traveling between dimensions. Tellinger believes that the ancient stone circles found in South Africa weren't just random ruins or tribal settlements. He thinks they were advanced energy-generating devices, possibly powered or enhanced by white gold. In his view, this gold was never meant to be decorative. It was a tool, maybe even a kind of fuel that helped these ancient civilizations tap into massive energy fields and access higher states of awareness. Some of it may have been used in spiritual rituals, while other uses might have involved actual technology that we can't even begin to understand with our current scientific mindset. Here's where things get really interesting, though. Tellinger and others believe that modern governments and elite institutions actually know about the true power of white gold. The theory is that they've been actively hiding this knowledge from the public to keep us disconnected from our true potential. If people understood what this substance could really do, helping us access other dimensions or unlocking hidden aspects of the mind, it would completely upend everything we've been taught about science, religion, and power. So instead of exploring it, we've told that it's been just nonsense, labeled conspiracy theorists, and left to think gold is just for watches and wedding rings. So who would you believe, the world government, or some random researcher who looks like he knows his onions? I'd love to hear your opinion.
Between 700 and 800 degrees Celsius, this pile of white fluffy powder vanished from sight. When they started bringing the temperature down, the pile of fluffy powder re-emerged where it disappeared from. What this tells us that between 700 and 800 degrees Celsius, monoatomic gold goes into a different dimension.
There was a blast in Missouri, and it happened in a home. The blast was so powerful that it destroyed 5 homes completely and damaged more than 20 others in the neighborhood. Residents say the entire community shook when the explosion happened, and some even thought it was an earthquake at first. This footage captured by a home security camera shows the exact moment the house blew apart, reduced in an instant to a pile of shattered bricks and burning wood. The sight is devastating. Investigators on the scene have ruled out foul play so far. Instead, they suggest that the most likely cause was a natural gas leak, though the official investigation is still ongoing. This man was on a ship tracking website when he came across something that really caught his attention. Take a look.
There were some ships way inside of where the ice is supposed to be. Okay? 730 miles from the closest port. Okay? That's huge, right? And at that distance on Google Earth, it says it's 1.9 miles higher than the Earth, right? So higher than the water. So 1.9 miles higher? So that can't be a canal. Well, what's going on? How did that ship get in there? Then we'll zoom out a little bit. We found another ship 905 miles in from the closest port. An active ship. That's 2.37 miles high. It's almost in the center of Antarctica. Okay? According to the globe. So what the heck is going on there?
He found this massive ship sitting right in the middle of Antarctica, measuring an unbelievable 280 meters long. Almost no information could be found about this vessel at all, except that it was registered under the nation of Kiribati. That alone was odd, but then he dug a little deeper. He noticed that a surprising number of other ships were also making strange stops near Kiribati, and just like the first one, those ships carried very little traceable information about where they'd been or what they were transporting. It was as if they were all being deliberately kept under the radar. This led him to a chilling theory. He thinks Kiribati could actually be a hidden gateway used to slip past the ice walls of Antarctica. A ship that large should not be able to cross through the ice with ease, yet somehow it did. That suggests there may be some kind of secret passage known only to select nations. And here's where things get even more suspicious. China and other powerful countries have been pouring billions of dollars into Kiribati in recent years. Why? If this small island nation has no obvious strategic or economic value, why the sudden global interest? Could it be that Kiribati holds the key to something hidden beyond what we're allowed to know? Maybe even a way through to the lands that exist past Antarctica itself.
I think Kiribati is a very important trade route, but it's going out here. Now on a globe, that would show this boat in the middle of Antarctica, but maybe it's going out here to these other continents, and they're trading technology, computer chips. We want the right to explore. And here's the thing, there could be dozens of these trade routes.
Anyone who's been on this channel for a while knows how I feel when it comes to night shifts. It's definitely not for the weak. This young man found out the hard way after he started noticing strange things going on at his workplace. He tried for several nights to record and capture something out of the ordinary, but it's almost like whatever was responsible for the strange occurrences knew what he was trying to do and kept a low profile. That at least was the case until recently. In the clip you're watching, he was moving around filming because he sensed something was off again. After moving around for a while, he felt uneasy and turned around. In that brief moment, he sees what looks like a child behind him. Nothing serious, right? Wrong. He was alone, and there was not supposed to be anyone there with him. In that moment, he was scared. But it turns out that whatever or whoever that child was, it had no interest in him. Shaken, he uploaded the video online, proving to everyone that he was not imagining things, and neither was he making them up. Some commend him for his bravery for staying to work in such a place, especially after that encounter, whereas others remain skeptical. They say that he could have easily arranged with the kid to show up at that time and then used some camera trickery to get away with it. Personally, I don't know how that would work, but you guys saw everything as well, so what do you think?
What's going on, guys? Making a video. It's been a couple days since I made the last one. I'm feeling good. That was... Yo! Hello? What the f*** going on? Jesus Christ, it was behind me.
I always say research a house before you move in, but for one family, this advice came a little too late. They just moved into what seemed like a great new home. Everything looked fine on the surface, but soon after settling in, strange things started to happen. At first, it was a few odd noises, flickering lights, but it didn't stay that way. In one piece of footage, you can see the camera panning across a room where the ceiling lights are swinging violently back and forth, even though there's no one touching them and no breeze to cause it. The person steps out into the hallway and the lights there are doing the same thing, swaying aggressively as things also escalate from there. In the kitchen, the cabinet opened on its own and its door was flapping. The chairs around the dining table have been scattered and you can hear objects sliding across the floor. Now, people are speculating that it's a restless spirit or a residual haunting, or maybe something even darker. Whatever it is, this house clearly has a history, one that the family didn't know about until it was too late. So, the next time you're looking to rent or buy a place, maybe take that extra step and ask questions, because some houses don't just come with good bones.
The fuck?
This video was shared by a store owner who runs a 24-hour shop. According to him, the incident happened around 2 a.m. when most people were asleep. Out of nowhere, this woman walked in, and the moment he saw her, he froze in fear and instinctively stepped back. The CCTV camera was mounted high in the corner of the ceiling, so the footage looks down at the scene. Because of the angle, her features aren't crystal clear, but what can be made out is deeply unsettling. Her face appears unnaturally pale, almost gray, and she's dressed entirely in black from head to toe. The store owner later claimed that her feet looked strange, like hooves instead of human feet, and while the footage isn't sharp enough to confirm this, some who have watched it say they can see the hoof-like shape. The woman approached him and asked for money, but he was too shaken to engage. Then came an even more chilling detail. The man, who was Muslim, had the Quran playing in the background at the time. The woman looked at him and asked why he was playing it and if someone was dead. In Islamic belief, beings known as jinn are said to roam the earth. They can shapeshift, appear as humans or animals, and are often associated with unsettling encounters like this one. Her face is pale, strange feet, and a reaction to the Quran have many believed that she was not an ordinary woman, but a jinn. What are your thoughts?
خلاص ولا حاجة كيف حالك؟ خلاص
من مات عليك؟
ها؟
من مات عليك؟
ولا واحد خلاص.
A cabin in the woods has always felt like the perfect setting for strange encounters, and for one couple, their weekend retreat turned into something else. They had rented a small cabin for the night, hoping to enjoy some peace and isolation, but while exploring the place, they made a discovery that left them shaken. In the closet of one of the rooms, a dark figure with a pale white face appeared to be standing perfectly still. It almost looked like some kind of Halloween decoration or a costume left behind. But the timing didn't make sense because it wasn't Halloween, and there was nothing else in the cabin that proved it was a prank. The man immediately began to panic, pointing out the figure in alarm. His partner, however, nervously laughed it off, saying, "What if it isn't a costume but a person?" Rather than investigating further, the couple quickly shut the closet door and walked away, not daring to look inside again. Now, some people believe the couple may have captured evidence of a paranormal entity lurking in the cabin. Others think the whole thing was staged, but there's also a more disturbing possibility that someone had been staying in the cabin before them, and the figure was a person who never left.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
We're in a cabin in the woods, okay? All right? And all of a sudden, I open this door, and it's this thing. Why is that there? It's not Halloween no more.
How do you know it's not a person?
Why are you f***ing with me? It's not funny. No, it's not funny.
So this young guy was exploring the town after midnight, which is never a good sign. Anyway, he fancies himself a brave person and starts to record and broadcast the moon that night. It was at that moment that he spotted it. Moving on the bridge was a quadrupedal or quadruped moving with purpose. Any normal person would have immediately left, but not this guy. He gets closer and sees a white creature he suspects is a Cadejo Blanco. The creature starts to knock on something close to him, probably as a warning. Slowly, his suspicions are confirmed, and then and only then does he start to tactically back away from the spot. For those unfamiliar with it, the Cadejo Blanco is a mysterious and powerful figure in Latin American folklore, often described as a large, white, dog-like creature that roams the night. Unlike its malevolent counterpart, the Cadejo Negro, the Cadejo Blanco is seen as an ambiguous figure, sometimes viewed as a protector and other times as a harbinger of a difficult fate. It appears to individuals at crossroads in their lives, offering an unsettling presence that may either guide them toward redemption or lead them into a path of peril. The Cadejo Blanco's motivations are unclear, and its appearance often leaves a lingering sense of unease as it moves with a silent, almost supernatural purpose through dark, desolate places. Perhaps this young guy needs to brace himself for what's about to come. Who knows what it could be?
El Cadejo, men. El Cadejo. Vimos el Cadejo Blanco. ¡Ay, Dios! ¡Dios! Tocaron.
Okay, this next footage comes out of Los Angeles, and it's got people genuinely puzzled. I mean, it's not every day you look up at the sky and see this. A man was filming in broad daylight when he spotted something hovering way up in the sky. At first it looked like your typical blurry UFO sighting, but the longer you look at it, the stranger it gets. When the footage zooms in, you can actually start to make out what looks like a form, not the hard shape of a flying craft or balloon, but something almost humanoid. It doesn't exactly look mechanical either, which is probably why a lot of people watching this are leaning toward a different theory that it is some kind of entity, not a UFO. Of course, skeptics say it's probably a weather balloon or maybe a drone covered in something lightweight like fabric, but even that doesn't really explain how this thing was just there, motionless, with no visible strings or support. And the way it's shaped really throws people off. So what do you think? A cleverly disguised drone or something watching from above? Because of the massive amount of trash we humans produce, disposal has become a growing global problem. Recycling is often presented as the solution instead of letting it pile up in landfills. But it seems Japan may have taken things a little too far. Reports say that companies there have started making toilet rolls out of recycled used diapers. According to them, the diapers are sterilized, bleached, and deodorized before being repurposed. The process is said to remove all bacteria and odor, leaving behind clean pulp that can be pressed into paper. Still, no matter how many times they say it's safe, just the thought of wiping with something that used to be a diaper is enough to make most people uneasy. So, is this an innovative recycling breakthrough, or have we finally crossed a line into the name of sustainability? There are a lot of gruesome and heartbreaking ways people have lost their lives, but this one from 2016 still shocks everyone who hears it. A woman was found dead inside an elevator after being trapped there for an entire month. Apparently, the elevator had malfunctioned and maintenance workers cut the power to it, marking it as out of service. They claimed they called it to check if anyone was inside before shutting it down, but no one responded, so they left it. A whole month later, when they finally came back to fix the lift, they made the horrifying discovery that the woman's body was still inside. She'd been trapped all that time with no way out. That's a pretty chilling and tragic story. Imagine being stuck there, calling out for help, and it never comes. Anyway, with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we will post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. My name's been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Now do me a favor. Could you share this with a few people that you love? One person you love? Hell, share it with the whole world. And I'll see you in the next one.